Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Deborah Gashaba from Psychology in Everyday Life. And the topic for my video today is Love is Being Present. I've had the good fortune throughout the years to work with a lot of couples in psychotherapy. And for whatever reason, whether we're talking about why they should stay together or why they should break up, I always end up asking them the question, well, how do you know that you love? And I got to tell you, when couples are in psychotherapy, they're so verbal, so ready to talk to you about everything that's in their hearts and their minds. But when I ask that question, how do you know you love? Suddenly they look at me like they're a deer caught in headlights. Because it's really a very tough question to answer. One of the things that people often come up with is, well, I do nice things for the person. I think about the person. Whatever the answer is, it always ends up being an act of love. They know they love because of some activity that they've carried out that's loving. But love in its deepest form is more than an activity. And it's more than an action that you carry out. Love is a state of being. Love is being present. There's nothing better than to give you an example to help you understand what I mean. One morning in January in Southern California, it was very nice outside, and I went to the screen door and I saw that my husband was feeding the roses outside. He became aware that I was there and he said, I have to be careful not to overfeed them because they might think it's spring and come out too early and then they'll die. I don't know if it was because I didn't have my coffee yet and, my mind wasn't preoccupied and all wound up with the activities of the day, but I was in a very present state. And it hit me that he was talking about so much more than how much he should feed the roses. I suddenly had this image sort of well up inside of me. And I saw my husband as a very young boy in New York, where he grew up. He grew up in what used to be called Hell's Kitchen. And many of you are familiar with Hell's Kitchen, but it was a gang-ridden, very dangerous environment to be raised in when my husband was young. And there were a lot of Italian and Irish gangs at the time, and my husband was a young Italian boy. And he used to go to school, and he would, often get sort of cornered by bullies who would try to beat him up. And so he learned to be very, very careful. And he spent time reflecting upon what routes he could take to and from school so he could avoid those bullies. Because my husband was not only a very slight man in stature, but he also is of the intellectual type that he didn't believe in using your hands as a form of expression. So he wasn't going to fight back. But he got extremely good at knowing how to outmaneuver the bullies. Okay. I was present at that moment. I could have reasoned that thought from my mind instead of from my heart. And there are a lot of things that could have transpired from there. I could have said, give them what they need to be fed. Don't be cheap. Feed the roses. I mean, I can think of a host of things that couples get into, including my husband and I at times, that are sort of, interactions that are not very loving. They're really more sparring and critical. Love, in its deepest sense, is a state of being. Practice being open to the moment in a very mindful way, suspending judgments, and seeing what arises in the moment. Because I guarantee you, what's going to rise are expressions of love that really give the opportunity for the love between you and another person to deepen. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you want to know more about this topic on love is being present, go to my website, www.psychologyineverydaylife.com. So I hope you stay tuned because I'll be talking about something new shortly. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.